Hello Anderson County, this is Councilman Brett Sanders recapping April the 5th council meeting tonight. To start out with, we had several fee in lieu agreements and projects. We had one that was $6 million, 80 new jobs at an average pay of $22.42 an hour. I think it was from a $7,000 to $11,000 a year tax increase on property taxes they were paying, and has like $119 million economic impact over the next 30 years. We also had a project, Project Lifeboat is what they're calling it now. But it was a $20 million investment, $42 an hour job, and it's going to be a research and development, and it is a new company coming in. So talk about a good starting salary. That was good to hear. Also had a project that was a $4.2 million investment, and all these projects, not all of them were new companies coming in. We're starting to see, and I have seen since I've been on council, a lot of these are expansions, and it's always exciting to see companies growing and prospering in Anderson County. I think Anderson County has a great incubator or openness to new business, and as I said in the council meeting tonight, it trickles down. So a lot of the things and the parks and quality of life type things that you see, we're able to do those because of these companies coming in and paying the tax revenues and taking a piece of land with $83 a year property taxes, and you know, by the time they build, create jobs, and they're paying over $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, sometimes over $1 million a year in property taxes. So
those companies come in because we build the parks.
They come in because, so it is like a endless circle. So I mean, that people come to Anderson County, and one of the first things when you're talking with a company or sitting down with them is, you know, quality of life, the schools, your kids, parks, the lake is a big draw and a big impact. So Anderson County is definitely on the radar nationally. But, you know, I'm excited to see that as a council we haven't forgotten the local businesses, and we're here to help support and help them grow and expand as well. And that pretty much was the majority of the agreements that we have for as companies expanding or new companies coming in. We had a special tax district for a subdivision that was River Oaks, and I think it was a subdivision that didn't have their roads up to county standards, and the county wasn't able to take them in, and special tax district allows 75% of the homeowners have to come together and support it, and they'll pay a higher tax over a period of 10 years to get their roads up to standard. We also had a little small zoning change in my district, and I'd ridden out and talked to some people, and the developers out there were very open with what they were going to do, and showed their plans and got community buy-in to begin with. And I think that's the way things should be done. Don't catch someone off guard or by surprise, but sit down and work out any grievances or differences. And normally if you can sit down with an open mind, and if you ask them, most of the time they're willing to concede and help and work with you. But they're not here to, or don't want to come in to hurt a community or area. That's the reason they're wanting to come into that community, is because of the type community or area that it is. And the majority of their time, or their goal, is to protect that community and grow and become a part of it. So I was glad to see them working with some of the people out there. We had a title only on a project that was a $45 million project, and that is to allow for the time frames. You know, we had to have 3 readings, so in order for them, I guess, to secure financing, or not really only secure financing, but to get time to get all their stuff. A lot of times everything's on a time schedule with engineering and drawings and permitting, and this will allow it kind of to come together at the proper time. We did a ground lease tonight with Duke Energy, which is actually a lease that was basically being renewed. Duke Energy has a battery facility or storage facility. I think it takes about 0.4, 0.3 of an acre at the Civic Center, and plus it provides backup power for the Civic Center in case of a power outage. And as we discussed in earlier meetings, FEMA requires you to have something in case of natural disaster, and that also, by having that, allows you to get certain fundings and state monies and things of that nature, and federal money. So that was a good thing for Duke and the Civic Center in Anderson County, and we appreciate Duke Energy and all that they do to work hand in hand with Anderson County. They provide a lot of funding and work with the county on a regular basis, just like the Green Park or Green Track, the kayak launches, a lot of things out at the Dolly Cooper Park wouldn't be possible without Duke Energy and other support. Also tonight we had a vote on the Meta subdivision, which is in my district. I had several emails and calls about the deterioration of their roads out there, and went out and looked, had our Roads and Bridges Department come out and look with me as well, and it wasn't something that could just be patched up or temporarily repaired. So our administrator, our Roads and Bridges Department, myself, we reached out. We have ACTC, which is the Anderson County Transportation Committee, submitted in, and they're going to fund the project with a 10% match from the county. And I know the people out there are going to be excited and happy to hear that, and it's long overdue. So I'm excited for them and glad to see that we can work to solve a problem. There's more than one way to skin a cat. We also had a resolution. You know, April is Fair Housing Month. The county recognized that, and it's basically to allow the citizens to have a decent and safe place to live, affordable place to live, without any discrimination, sex, creed, race, gender, handicap, disability. So that brings it kind of to the forefront and keeps it on people's minds. Also tonight we had a resolution declaring April the 10th through the 16th the Dispatch Awareness Week. And that is your 911 center, and they are the first person that you talk to or reach out in case of an emergency. They have 64 people working out there on 12-hour shifts, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they also have a shift in between, overlap shift, to take up some of the slack. But it is, like I said earlier, it is the most critical point of contact that one could have, and we have some outstanding people out there at the dispatch center. There were some people here tonight that was able to come up and be recognized, and would just like to thank everyone. And if any time you've ever had to call 911 for any problem or issue, they're the ones there taking your call and staying on the line with you. They're also help stay on line with law enforcement, fire, to make sure they don't have any issues. So it is a good thing that we were able to recognize them tonight, and I was happy that some people were actually off and got to come in and receive that. Also tonight we had a request from the town of Williamston and the Honea Path Fire Department. We had a town of Williamston needed a animal control truck, and we had an older F-250 that we weren't using, that was decommissioned, so to speak, and we donated that to the town of Williamston, and I know they have a great need and put it to work, and that's great to see the county being able to support some of our municipalities and help save them some money as well. And we also had a fire department needed a F-150 that we had with 100-something thousand miles on it, and we were able to help them as well. It's always good when you can help the municipalities, especially on things that I hate to say it's not really laying around, but it's not being utilized or used to its full potential, and someone can actually use it and get a lot more out of it or a lot more benefit than it just laying around as a spare unit. So I'm glad that council stepped up and assisted them with their needs. And also, big weekend this past weekend, you had the Spring for Jesus at the Sandy Springs Walking Track. A lot of people out there, a car show, beautiful weather. We also had the Downtown Jubilee for the town of Pendleton, 2-day event with vendors, good food, good socializing, and I attended both, and great turnouts, and was excited for that. We also had the grand opening for the Wellington Park, a recreation area. They had a lot of people turn out for that. Just good things happening, and I'm glad that the weather wasn't like it was today. Hope everyone was safe with all this rain and weather that we had come in, but luckily it cooperated this past weekend, and hopefully as spring keeps rolling in, there'll be a lot more things to do, and get your families, get out and take part and enjoy Anderson County.